For years, Diet Coke has remained a popular choice. Despite skepticism about its health benefits, this raises an interesting question. How much do its loyal consumers truly understand about this soda? Let's dive into the history and enduring appeal of Diet Coke. Many people assume that Diet Coke is a better choice for weight control due to the word diet in its name. However, research suggests that consuming diet soda may actually contribute to weight gain, contrary to popular belief. A 2015 study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society linked diet sodas, including Diet Coke, to increased obesity in adults aged 65 and older. The study followed 749 participants and discovered that those who drank diet soda saw their waist circumference increase nearly 3 times more than those who avoided it. Sharon Fowler, the study's lead author and a researcher at the University of Texas, concluded that the artificial sweeteners in diet sodas might alter metabolism or lead to increased cravings, ultimately causing people to gain weight rather than lose it. Increasing diet soda intake was associated with escalating abdominal obesity, which may increase cardiometabolic risk in older adults. When Diet Coke first debuted, it came with a different logo and an interesting twist. It was originally spelled Diet Coke, with a lowercase d. This choice had a legal reason behind it. During the planning stages, Coca-Cola considered alternatives like sugar-free and light. However, sugar-free was rejected for potentially damaging the image of the original Coke, and light was already in use by a competitor. Diet seemed the most appropriate term, but Coca-Cola's legal team insisted it stay lowercase. The reason for this, as explained in the company's history, was a trademark concern. Lawyers argued that if the word diet were capitalized, it would be seen as a noun, which would require a trademark change. By keeping it lowercase, diet was viewed as an adjective, allowing the brand to preserve its legal standing. This clever legal maneuver kept Diet Coke's trademark intact, while maintaining the brand's identity in a competitive market. By the mid-2010s, Diet Coke's sales were steadily declining. By 2017, bottled water had overtaken soda as America's most popular beverage, a shift that further impacted Diet Coke and other sugar-free sodas. This change in consumer preference eroded the market share of sodas like Diet Coke. To address this decline, Coca-Cola took action. In 2018, the company launched a major redesign of Diet Coke's packaging, giving it a sleeker, slimmer look. Additionally, 4 new flavors were introduced: Twisted Mango, Ginger Lime, Zesty Blood Orange, and Feisty Cherry, alongside the original Diet Coke. Rafael Acevedo, Coca-Cola North America's group director for Diet Coke, explained that the aim was to rejuvenate the brand by appealing to millennials with a modern and exciting product lineup. Be bold, think differently, and be innovative.
Almost everyone appreciates the best, and the bright tang of Coke is always welcome after a busy day of shopping.
Coca-Cola was slow to enter the diet soda scene, with plans for a sugar-free version in development for over 20 years. In the 1970s, as more consumers sought healthier alternatives, traditional sodas saw a decline in sales. This shift, however, sparked a growing demand for sugar-free options that still delivered great taste. Jack Carew, a planning manager at Coca-Cola, was tasked with creating a sugar-free Coke to meet this new consumer need. He later shared insights into the process of developing the iconic product. "We needed a big idea to come out of one of the toughest decades we'd ever seen." Although creating Diet Coke was a major focus for Coca-Cola, the project was kept under wraps, with only a small group of employees aware. Jerry Bell, a colleague of Carew, remarked, "It was an entrepreneurial cloak and dagger operation in the purest sense." The rise of Diet Coke was driven by market demand, as Coca-Cola targeted baby boomers, a growing demographic seeking healthier options. As they aged and gained weight, many boomers looked for a Coke alternative that wouldn't add to their expanding waistlines. When mixing alcohol with soda, there's more at play than just the taste difference between regular Coke and Diet Coke. A 2015 study revealed that cocktails made with diet soda resulted in higher alcohol levels in the bloodstream. Researcher Dennis Toms, who was involved in a similar study, explained to NPR that the absence of sugar in diet sodas affects how the body processes alcohol, leading to higher blood alcohol concentrations when consumed with artificial sweeteners. It is not that diet soda accelerates intoxication. Rather, the sugar in regular soda slows down the rate of alcohol absorption. The study found that participants didn't perceive any difference in their level of intoxication, whether drinking regular or diet soda. This lack of awareness could increase the risk of impaired driving. It's a crucial factor to consider for safety, as individuals may not realize how alcohol affects them when mixed with diet sodas. If you've ever tossed cans of Coke and Diet Coke into a cooler full of ice, you might have noticed something unusual. The Diet Coke can floats while the regular Coke can sinks to the bottom. This curious phenomenon has a straightforward scientific explanation. Despite both cans holding the same 12 fluid ounces of liquid, Diet Coke weighs less than regular Coke. The key difference lies in the density of the liquids inside each can. A 12-ounce can of regular Coke contains 39 grams of sugar, while Diet Coke uses the artificial sweetener aspartame, which is much sweeter than sugar and needed in much smaller amounts. Because the sugar in regular Coke adds weight, it makes the liquid denser than water, causing the can to sink. In contrast, the low amount of aspartame in Diet Coke makes the liquid less dense than water, so the can floats. This density difference is what accounts for the two sodas behaving differently when placed in water. A follow-up study from the University of Sydney sought to understand why sugar-free sodas like Diet Coke are linked to weight gain rather than weight loss. The 2016 study, published in Cell Metabolism, revealed a fascinating insight. Artificially sweetened sodas can trigger increased calorie cravings in the brain. The researchers found that drinking diet sodas, including Diet Coke, can make people feel hungrier. The brain expects sweetness to be paired with calories, but when the sweet taste is not followed by the expected energy boost, it leads to a recalibration in the brain. This process causes the brain to crave more calories, pushing individuals to eat more than they normally would if consuming regular, sugar-sweetened sodas. In essence, the study showed that the brain's reward system becomes confused when it tastes sweetness without the corresponding calories, which can lead to overeating. As a result, consuming diet sodas could have the opposite effect of what many people expect, contributing to weight gain.
There's no waistline worry with Coke, you know. Actually, this individual-sized bottle has no more calories than half a grapefruit.
In 2008, Coca-Cola removed sodium benzoate from Diet Coke after research raised concerns about its safety. A 2007 study by Dr. Peter Piper, a molecular biologist at the University of Sheffield, linked the chemical to cell damage, DNA changes, hyperactivity, Parkinson's disease, and liver cirrhosis. Although Coca-Cola did not reference this study when announcing the change, the company stated it was responding to growing consumer demand for more natural ingredients. A spokesperson for Coca-Cola told the Daily Mail that the decision was made in response to shifting preferences for healthier, more natural products. We are continuously listening to our consumers' thoughts about ingredients. For a number of years, we have been moving towards non-artificial colors, flavors, and preservatives where possible in our drinks. We are looking to phase out the use of sodium benzoate where technically possible. In 2005, after Diet Coke had been a staple for over 2 decades, Coca-Cola introduced a new product, Coke Zero, which would eventually evolve into Coke Zero Sugar in 2016. While both drinks share similarities, a taste test reveals distinct differences between the two. Diet Coke has a unique flavor, quite different from regular Coca-Cola. On the other hand, Coke Zero Sugar aims to replicate the classic Coca-Cola taste, but without the sugar. Despite these flavor differences, the ingredients are almost identical, with one exception. Coke Zero Sugar contains sodium citrate, while Diet Coke uses citric acid. This small variation is responsible for the differing tastes. Since childhood, most of us have been warned by parents and dentists that sugar causes tooth decay. As Healthline explains, sugar encourages cavities by interacting with bacteria in the mouth to form acid, which gradually erodes tooth enamel. Naturally, sugar-free sodas seem like a better option for oral health, but this isn't the case with Diet Coke. A 2015 study by the University of Melbourne's Oral Health Cooperative Research Centre exposed human molars to various drinks, including milk, sports drinks, sugary sodas, and sugar-free sodas. To many people's surprise, the study found that sugar-free sodas like Diet Coke were just as damaging to tooth enamel as their sugary counterparts. While both types of soda cause enamel erosion, the mechanisms are different. Diet Coke contains phosphoric acid, which reacts with calcium in the teeth, weakening enamel. Even though sugar-free sodas like Diet Coke may lower the risk of cavities by avoiding sugar, the phosphoric acid can still lead to significant enamel damage over time. So, while they might reduce sugar intake, sugar-free sodas aren't necessarily safer for your teeth. As market trends prompted Coca-Cola to revamp Diet Coke's packaging and introduce new flavors, they never considered altering the recipe or flavor itself. Despite a decline in market share, Diet Coke retained a loyal following. In 2017, CEO James Quincey shared with reporters that the product's core appeal remained strong among its dedicated consumers. "I don't think we're likely to change Diet Coke. It has a large following. Diet Coke will be Diet Coke for a good while longer." Quincey reassured Diet Coke enthusiasts that the beloved formula and its unique unique taste wouldn't be changing anytime soon. However, the brand's loyal customer base had been gradually shrinking. A Business Insider report noted that the rise of Coke Zero Sugar seemed to impact Diet Coke's popularity. In 2016, while Coke Zero's sales grew by 3.5%, Diet Coke saw a 1.9% drop in sales during the same period, reflecting shifting consumer preferences. A 2018 study led by Yale researcher Dr. Dana Small uncovered unexpected findings about diet sodas. It revealed that drinking Diet Coke and other artificially sweetened sodas not only triggers calorie cravings, but these cravings become stronger when combined with carbohydrates. The study found that pairing carbs with artificial sweeteners confuses the brain, disrupting its ability to process what it thinks is sugar. Dr. Small described this as a circuit change in the brain. If this pattern continues, the brain and body struggle to process nutrients properly, as they're not receiving the correct signals. As Dr. Small explained to Inverse, this ongoing confusion could lead to significant metabolic issues. If you're going to have a diet drink, don't have it with French fries. Have the diet drink by itself, and if you're going to have a diet drink, give an hour on either side and it should be fine, at least in small quantities.